Hey guys, welcome to this episode of the Be More podcast. I'm Brittany.
I'm Maria, and today Brittany has a very pressing worldwide topic called the fucking cicadas that are coming up from underground,
We
like
need to,
millions of them, right?
I feel like we need to just talk about them so that we can be done with it.
Yeah,
Um,
and then once I actually see a few, I'll be like, all right, I guess this is it.
uh,
Did you already see some? Did you hear some?
it's not even actually, you know what? I can let you guys actually listen to it. Are
Oh,
you ready? Okay, so first and
gross.
foremost, this was coming on our radar like weeks ago when you were
Hmm.
hearing on the news, like the news and all like the media was saying about how to be prepared for the cicadas because they're coming and all this
Hmm.
information was coming up. Then I got a video from my sister in law in Maryland.
God.
And it was I don't even it was something out of like a horror movie. I'll have to show it when I see you later, I'll show it to you. And this was maybe a week or two ago.
Okay.
Their backyard, they have this huge tree in this old beautiful tree in their backyard. And my sister was saying that one day they just started hearing this very alarming noise coming from their backyard. And
Cool.
they were coming out, I guess they were living and I don't this is a question to be answered later. It's like how they survive underground for all that time for 2 decades. Um, but they were living and existing underneath their tree,
Right. Yeah.
so they
Because they
all
like.
just
Go ahead.
started
Yeah.
coming out.
Right.
So she took a video, like there's a tree, and then they have like a little bush that's right next to this tree, and she was
Hmm.
taking a video, and the entire bush
Ew.
was just covered in the exoskeletons.
Gross.
And
Ugh.
on the ground around the tree, you know how like when especially because they just did this for the season when fresh mulch gets
Yeah.
put out and it's surrounded around like the trees,
Yeah.
that's what it looked like.
That's so gross.
it
I
was
hate.
it was
Ugh.
just millions and millions of exoskeletons, and then up up the tree
Uh
was just
huh.
millions of them up the tree
They're
and
just
all over the branches. And she was standing there and she
ew.
was saying how when they come out of the sometimes the exoskeletons just fall out of the tree because they like
Right.
are
They're
upside
like
down.
shedding it.
Right. But sometimes when they come out of the exoskeleton, the cicada doesn't realize that it's upside down and it just falls and dies.
Oh, sorry. That's
Eh,
so fucking gross. Honestly,
okay,
I
so
hate cicadas.
we're gonna talk so much about all the things that I've learned about them and like my experiences with
That's
them. So this
so
is my
gross.
first my first insight into them is this video that she sends us. And then the gross
Yeah,
part is on the floor where all of the exoskeletons are, they're just like crawling over each other. Like there are so many of them.
that's so gross. Do you have the video? Can we just hear like a clip of the
Oh,
fucking
wait,
sound?
wait. I'll let you hear it I'll tell you my personal experience with it and
Okay.
I will let you listen to that.
Okay. Ugh.
So
Gross.
we're getting all of this from this perspective her perspective. And my of course my nephews are like super stoked about it.
Oh yeah, of
They're
course, of course.
little boys. They're like super excited about it. And my brother is getting all hype about it and is like taking pictures of them like on his hand and on his
Oh my
nose,
god.
and they're and like telling us about how like when they have a picnic outside, they're all over the place.
Ugh.
And I was just like, sorry, pausing for like moment of horror. Um it would just the idea of this was like something
It's
out of a strange, really
grotesque.
bad old school movie, like The Fly. Like that movie used to be
Yeah.
like a thing where all the like I just couldn't grasp the concept of it.
Right.
So not thinking
Oh
anything of it.
yeah, yeah. Okay, go on.
I was like, all right, whatever. Like they're not, and we'll see if they're supposed to come up in New Jersey because they're not supposed to come up all over New Jersey. There's like a weird like area of New Jersey that they're supposed to be relevant to.
Probably like the Pine Barrens.
I
Probably like
honestly
West New Jersey or something.
I don't even honestly know, but we're starting to see them in New Jersey now. So I don't think about this. I'm like, not whatever. My brother's like
Hmm.
taking some ridiculous pictures, and my nephews are still talking about them everywhere. And through all of this time, I'm learning some like very interesting things about them, about like how they come up. They literally come out of the ground to mate and then just die off.
Right. That's all they do. It's just gross though that there's millions of them
Right.
coming
And
up
it's
from the
just
ground.
like, okay, guys, why do you choose to come up at all? Like, why do you choose to come up then? Just stay down there and just
Yeah,
do it down
do
there.
you
And just,
know the significance of why they do this
I,
every X amount of years?
I have no, actually, you know what? I was going to look up. There
Because
is
isn't it like every 7 years or something?
17.
17. I knew there was seven somewhere.
But the thing about this is, and this is, I think, the thing that people were, so this specific type of cicada is called the brood X.
Okay.
Um, and there's an article that, now mind you, I had found. Okay, so let me give you a little insight into my experience with them. So anyway, learning all these things about them, right? Um, on NPR, I had heard somebody talking about them
Random.
on the radio. I know. Uh, and explain. Have you heard about their fungus,
No.
dude? Okay, to make things
Oh,
even weirder,
fucking
right?
gross.
So from being under the ground for so long and getting exposed, I guess I don't this is, don't quote me on this, but like from what I remember them talking about, from being underground for so long and then coming out like into the air, some type of fungus like grows inside them.
That makes sense. Kind of.
And
That makes sense. Okay, yeah.
when they fly out and they
Ew.
start to get exposed to the air and they're moving around, the fungus inside of them starts to spread,
That makes sense. Yeah, okay. That
right? Because it's getting exposure to air and it can spread
right. Yeah.
to the point where, ready for this
Oh
part,
god.
the fungus lives like inside of their abdomen, right? Like
Okay.
for specificity, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, and it just lives in there, but it literally like uses them as a host until one of two things happens. They either like it completely dies because it can't function, or like its abdomen becomes so full that it cracks and falls off. They just
Their abdomen just
like
falls
I don't
off
like
their
the
body.
center of their
Right, there's their
like
gut. Like
right
if you
like
will.
just
Yeah.
like it just is it just right.
Ew.
So like so yeah so and then at that point when that happens to them, they become like they're literally like their host has overtaken them, so they literally can't function, but
Right,
they are
they
still
just
living, so they become like these zombies that just fly around until they die, and some of them
ew.
are able to still procreate and then die.
Even while in like a zombie state. That's so gross. Oh god.
So now they're like these creepy
Wait,
things.
literally so the parasite comes, they're the host, the fucking thing falls. Oh,
They're still like
does that
existing.
work like that?
I don't know, but this is so these are, mind you, these are like things out of like a bad sci-fi thriller. Like so now these are
Yeah,
all things that
bugs
I'm thinking
confuse
about
me.
with these bugs. Um Now a couple other things that I had found out about them. And this is just in passing. I didn't even like avid like look
Yeah,
into
you weren't
all
just
of this
like
to
Google
try to
search
find them out.
Reddit.
Like this is
Yeah.
just things that I was hearing about. Another thing that I had heard about them was that the way that they fly, they kind of fly like butterflies. They don't
Okay.
fly like, and maybe because they're too I don't know. They don't really make a lot of noise when they're flying.
Okay, but you can see their wings flap and shit.
But you see them. So
Yeah, it's not
these are
like
all
a
things that I'm hearing about them just like in
ugh,
passing.
gross.
So not really thinking about them like, oh, they're not, maybe they won't come up in New Jersey, whatever. So, and to the point of where I even like the video that my sister had like shared, I
Yeah.
showed it to like my freshman students and they were all like, oh my God, I hope they don't come here, like whatever. So
Oh
we're
my
all like
god.
anti cicadas. Um, side note, New Jersey does have its own type of cicada that comes out every summer.
Right, and they're just loud and annoying.
Right, they're loud and annoying.
But I
And
barely
honestly,
see them.
they
I don't
used
see
to
them.
they used to come out a lot less. I'm guessing because of global warming, they come out more
Yeah,
often
it's not
now.
like yeah,
But
yeah,
the ones
exactly.
that we see in New Jersey are smaller. And
Yeah, I'm
like
not bothered by them. Oh, these are
right,
fucking huge.
yeah, the ones that we see in
Oh,
New Jersey are smaller, and I only know of them and like them being out often because at the summer camp that I'm at that I work
you
at,
can just hear them.
and we see the exoskeletons everywhere. They're littler. They're
Yeah,
like
they're like
maybe like an inch or two in length, but in like in totality. And when they
yeah.
fly around, they're like not whatever. They're there, but you only hear them. You usually don't really
It's
see them.
literally
You
just
just
like
see their
if a bee
exoskeleton.
was. It's just like if it's a bee flying around. You're like, oh, there's a bee. Like I'm not
Right,
annoyed by
right.
it.
And they're honestly maybe those cicadas are maybe the same size as like a queen, like a bumblebee.
Yeah, yeah,
So not whatever.
yeah. Not yeah.
These cicadas are the length of your nose.
That's fucking gross. That's
They're
fucking gross.
huge. And then their wings on top of that make them even bigger.
So they're just wide.
They're humongous. They're just
They're fucking
humongous.
huge.
My
Ew, I
cat
don't
is
like
trying to
that.
figure out how to sit on my lap right now, and she's getting like real desperate about it. So okay, these are all the things that I know about them, right? Because my brother took a picture when one landed on his face, and it took up his entire
He
nose.
it landed on his face.
First of all, no, this was the text messages that I got, right? My brother sending me pictures of them, and I was like, how are you're just letting them? Because right, you can't. I couldn't understand how many there were, right?
Yeah,
And
you
like
can't.
what
Yeah.
the sky is
Oh,
like and like whatever. So I was like, what do you like? They're just landing on you? And he was like,
that's
yeah, he
so
could.
good.
He was like, you can just let them land on you. I was like, no, no, no. I was like,
No,
you can just let them land on you. I
you
ain't letting
sir.
anything
No,
land
thank
on me.
you.
You're right. Correct.
Oh.
So okay, so now all of this is building up, all this buildup of cicadas, right? And I'm driving to a client that I have in Princeton.
Okay. Tell me you
And
saw a few.
you know me, I drive with like my windows down.
Ew.
And I'm driving into I cross across Route 1
Yep.
for anybody who's from New Jersey. And I drive into Princeton. Are you ready for this? I'm going to play the sound for you.
Oh
And
my
this is
god.
what I hear.
I'm not ready.
Sorry, wait, like long build up and then I'm like not good timing on me figuring out how to use social media. Sorry. Okay, wait. Are you ready? This is what I hear.
Sure.
Mm,
Oh god.
all these extra things are popping up and I don't know what to do about it. Okay, ready?
Ew.
First of all, there's a bird in there somewhere, but do you hear that like high vibration thing?
Yeah, ew.
Okay. So now me being me and not having any like I said, I forgot about these things, right?
Yeah.
And I'm driving through and I'm like, the hell is that?
Yeah.
And it sounds like, you know how when you go, especially when we were at Rutgers, the buildings that had like the really big like cooling systems on the roof, like you could hear them.
Oh yeah, like a
That's what it
venter, like a
sounded.
big yeah.
Right, like the radiator, a generator, whatever.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like.
That's
So I'm
so
super confused now, trying to figure out what this is. And I
yeah.
have a couple minutes before I have to pull up to my client, and there's this little park that I'd like to hang out by.
Yeah.
So I pull over and I have my windows down, and I'm taking this video. I'm like, what is that sound?
Right,
And
right.
I look up, and in the tree, like the tree that I have on this video, you can see them like flying from branch to branch. And when I say see them, I don't mean like, oh, there's one. I mean like hundreds
Ew.
in this one tree. It's hard to see it in the video that I
Are,
took
are,
because it's so
are
far
we
away.
talking are we talking like have you ever seen Prince of Egypt?
Like the
Like
plague?
we're
Yes.
talking about the plague
And I'm
here.
and this is from a really far distance, right? There's up in this
Such a
tree.
good movie.
You can
Side
full
note.
on see them. Like you full on
That's
see
so
it's like a
gross.
quarter is flying from and I'm like and then it dawns on me.
Yeah,
And I
that
was
they're
like,
here in New
ah,
Jersey.
fuck. So at this moment, I'm looking around like crazy. Like I realize my windows are down, so my windows are going up.
Yeah, you're like, nope, not today.
And then I'm like watching and trying to watch them and trying to see what's going on. And then I look at the tree next to me, and
Yeah.
the entire tree is covered in
That's
the
so
exoskeleton.
gross. That's so gross.
Wait,
That's
so
so
mind you, I'm
gross.
sitting there and I start to get real uncomfortable because now I'm realizing they're everywhere. And the thing about these guys is that they don't fly like really high above. They fly like at person level for some weird reason.
Hmm.
And then because their lifespans are weird, they fly and then like sometimes while they're flying, they just die. So they just
Ew, that's so gross.
nosedive.
That's literally like
So
fucking plague.
as I'm driving later on, they're just like
That's
nosediving into
so
my car
gross.
and dying. So
Are
I'm
you
sitting
serious?
yes, and like
Oh,
flying into my car. So I'm sitting in my car, right? Already starting to feel real uncomfortable. All of a
I'm
sudden
real uncomfortable for you.
I start hearing like something hit my car. Like
Uh,
something falling on my car.
like just one at a time. Like it's raining, hailing.
No, like someone's throwing a rock at my car on my roof. And I'm like, what the so
Oh,
me
okay.
being me, I get out of my car. The second that I get out of my car, I look down and there's cicadas all over the street. This is a horror movie for me, guys. There's cicadas all over the
That's
street, and I
so
look, and I
gross.
even took a picture. I look, and there are just dead cicadas that fell out of the tree on my car.
I
Like
don't
that's
want
what
to
I
know
heard.
what that picture looks like, but like I'm also curious.
So
Well,
then I,
I have to see the Maryland video. That's what I got to see.
yeah. So
Yeah.
then I'll show that to you later.
Yeah.
So then I walk like around my car and go to look at the tree, and they're the thing that's really hard about them is when they hit the ground. First of all, the thing that gets creepier when they hit the ground, they're all over the floor. So you don't know if they're alive and on the ground or they're dead and on the ground because there's both. So I'm trying to step and then I'll step and all of a sudden you'll see like zzz, and I'm like freaking out because they're just coming alive.
Oh my god.
And I go
Ew.
out, I go
Ugh.
by the tree and they're all over
Ugh.
the tree. And then I remembered, like, oh crap, they fell and hit my car, which means like they can fall on me while I'm under the tree. So now I start
Yeah.
like panicking. So I run back into my car and I'm sitting in my car. So uncomfortable.
Were people
And
around you? That must have been so fucking
here's the thing
funny.
that drives me that I could not understand. And I don't know if it's because of me and they're I know that they're not gonna hurt you. I guess I should have like said all
No,
of
they're
this
not.
first.
Like, oh
They're
yeah,
not gonna hurt people, but
yeah.
they're just really big.
Oh, that's so gross, and that's
And
what's gross. Like
and I couldn't
same thing with like when there's a spider inside. If it's very small, I'm like, I don't care. If it's like fucking huge, that's an issue for me. So I get it. Like
And
I get
what
it.
I couldn't understand is that people were just like outside walking around.
I don't know if it's dawned on them that it's actually happening around them.
I don't. How do you not hear it though? Like there was a
Maybe
guy
they're just like
walking.
there's a bunch of cicadas. I don't know.
Or maybe they. I don't. Maybe they just haven't like really seen. I don't. Whatever. It was
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
I was just like, and
Oblivious. There's
there were
people
like
are oblivious.
people walking their dog, and I was like, don't you realize? Like, here's my issue with them too. Because they have a really hard exoskeleton and they are so large. When they hit you, it's like getting hit with a paintball.
That's fucking
Like
wild.
a
That's
like
fucking
a
wild.
they so
Yeah.
like when I'm driving and they were hitting into my car, like you hear them going boop boop like on your car. They're not these tiny little things. So now going
Oh my
back to the
god.
animals, I also heard
Yeah. Don't
that
let them eat them.
right that they are a really good source. This is another thing we can dive into. They're a really good source of protein because they're like
Which makes sense.
the shrimps of the sky.
Right, like
But
yeah, bugs in general.
right. But
Yeah.
when your animal eats them and their exoskeleton is on them, it could like shred their insides.
Yeah, it's literally it's like if you're eating fucking I don't know, fish scales.
Right.
Or like, yeah, so I get it. I get the whole protein thing, but yeah, the concern that many people probably have is when they're walking their dog and their dog is just like gonna eat one.
And it's a real like smorgasbord out there for those guys. Like
Yeah,
it, you can't walk without
without
stepping on them.
that's
So now,
honestly the grossest thing.
mind you, I have to go to a
So gross.
client. So
Hmm.
I'm thinking to myself, I'm canceling the client. I'm not getting out of my car in this town again. Like I'm not doing this.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm driving there, and as I'm driving, like I said, they're like dive bombing into my car. I like was like, I'm not driving with the windows up,
Yeah.
and I can see like you know how you when you're driving down the street, you pass the trees, you pass like the electric poles and all those
Yeah.
things. They're just covered.
That's so
And the
gross.
funny part
That's
is,
so
in my
gross.
mind, I just see people walking down the street, and in my mind, I want to be like, "Go inside, like
Like
save
a fucking horror
yourself."
like a horror film.
That's what it really because it's out of the norm. It's not like it's out of the norm, and when you see them, they are not friendly looking. Like they have really long, like they're just, I just, bleh.
That's
Like I can't.
so gross. That's
They're
literally so gross. That's all I can say about this whole episode. This is
I
so fucking
I'm
gross.
sorry, and you are welcome at the same time. So yeah, so I had to go to a client's house. So I'm literally texting my mom like, you're not gonna believe what this is like in real life.
Yeah, yeah.
And then my mom was like, "Do I need to call your clients and tell them that you're not coming on account of cicadas?" I was like, "I know that you think it's funny, but like it's not funny. Like I am not comfortable right now." So I ran. And I'm not kidding, guys. This is what I did, and I know that Maria believes this. I got out of my car and ran to their door. But like I said, the hard part about it is they're all over the ground, and you can't tell which ones are dead and which ones are not dead. So
Stop.
it's like
That's
a
really
minefield. You're
that's
like,
what's really creeping me out is that like some of them are alive on the ground and if you step on them that's so
here's the
fucking
kicker,
gross.
though, that
Oh,
drove me crazy, and I still can't figure out. And I have a picture of it to prove it. The
yeah.
ones that fell on my car.
Yeah.
Remember how I said I got out of the car, took pictures, went over to the tree? When I went back over to my car, they weren't there anymore. But I
That's
swear to you, they were dead.
maybe they were like
A state of
a
shock.
there's a zombie and they were like, "All right." Just I don't know. I'm so fucking confused.
So
That's so gross.
they're so unpredictable. And when I when I got to my client's door, they have like a side door that I go in. They were all like on the floor, like at the base of the door. So I opened the door and I went inside. I was like, there are so many like right outside your door. She's like, yeah, she's like, they're not very bright. They fly into our door all the time. Like you hear them thud.
That's so gross.
So
It's literally the plague. It's literally the
right,
plague.
except it's worse because these guys like are just like frantic flyers, and
Yeah, they're just
you can't
I
predict what they're
it's
gonna do.
like it's like a fucking like because they've been underground, I guess, for 17 years, they don't know what the hell to do themselves.
I just don't. So that's what I was looking up. But it was funny because my mom was like getting all into like the idea of like, and I was telling her I was like, they're like the shrimp of the sky. Like I'm sure they're really good in protein. Um, and I was telling her how they like people make recipes with them. So she found this like in the news. I'll show it to you. She texted it to me.
Are
For
people
people
just
who
scooping up cicadas from the ground?
aren't what, dude, you literally can though. Like there are millions of them
Like
in
I
piles
can
everywhere.
shovel a fucking cicada pile. That's so gross.
Yeah. Hold on, I gotta find it. But she sent it to me. She sent me this recipe because she's annoying. Um, just to be like super mocky and very herself.
Yeah.
So it's called wild onion cicada nibblers.
That's so
And look, I'll
mm.
show you the picture of them like on a plate with cucumbers.
They're massive. If anyone is
Dude,
not watching this, wait, can you put that back?
they're humongous.
People need to know what the fuck you have to. Whoever's not watching us, go on our YouTube channel and go to like minute like 25 probably by the time I edit this. That's so gross.
They're
That's so
huge.
gross.
And like the recipe is just it's so funny. Wait, because this is like in the newspaper, guys. This is like a thing that's like
So
normal.
gross.
It says how
And I'm not saying like the rest, like you could eat. I don't care if you eat that. I'm just saying they're huge. I
yeah,
can't
that's
believe
right.
that's
They're
so. Oh
humongous.
my god.
And that's what's disturbing. It
I
says
say
like
this
the
as I say this as like, oh, today's my dad's birthday and Brittany might be coming over for Filipino food. I say this and like we're eating like goat and like intestines and like shit like that. But like this somehow freaks me the fuck out.
it says one like this is like a recipe, which is like just hysterical, super cash. It's like
Yeah, no big deal.
1 cup of freshly emerged blanched cicadas. So now wait, ready. There's a little side note here of like what they look like when they're emerging from their
Bro, oh my god.
exoskeleton. Sorry, sorry. Should
Oh
warn
my
you on
god.
that.
I just left the screen. Oh, that's so
It
gross.
says the teneral stage is when the cicadas emerge from their
Oh,
nymphal
that's
phase.
so
So
gross.
like when they it's called there's like a molt, right? Like when they molt.
Yeah.
They're white at this stage, which is when they're considered at peak edibility. These are
That's
words that are in a newspaper.
so gross. That's
Um,
so gross. I can't believe I
because
just
then
saw
that's
that.
when like they're softest and like they're
Right. They're not.
youngest and they're full of like juicy good protein. Um,
Yeah.
no, it is like like the when they emerge from there, it's a horror movie. But also, I mean, if you think about it, right? Have you ever seen what it looks like when a butterfly like goes into its
Cocoons out
cocoon?
or goes in or goes out. It's
All
like
of it.
weird.
But do you know what happens to them? I only recently like really learned what happens to a butterfly when they go inside their cocoon.
No, I don't want to know. No, I don't.
Okay,
No.
well, it's actually more disgusting than what the cicadas do when they.
I'm sure, but like we butterflies when they come out, they're so beautiful, blah blah. But like I'm sure whatever they do within that period is fucking gross. I don't want to know.
I won't tell you.
Okay, thank you.
Um,
Because that picture was enough.
for anybody who wants to know what happens to a butterfly when it goes inside its like cocoon, look it up.
You know, I'm sure there's
Because
yeah videos of it.
if you think about it, how does a
Because like it,
caterpillar turn into a butterfly? Like how they don't look anything alike.
no, they don't. Does the cocoon like have something to do with like they? I don't even know how to describe what I'm thinking right now. I don't know how they make cocoons. Number one, I know nothing. I know nothing about that. And number two, I
Also
don't want to
gross.
know. I'm
Also gross.
sure,
And
but
what they do while they're in the cocoon is it's literally shocking. Yeah, but like
like, I don't know
yes,
what else
but
to state.
the how they do it is unsettling. So
Oh,
if
thank
you
you.
are interested, I highly encourage you to go look into it. So yeah, my mother sent me that recipe and was like, "This is a thing that you can do." Now the funny thing about this is while I was sitting in my car trying to figure out what the hell was going on around me, I was doing searches on Google like Princeton cicadas, and a bunch of stuff came up. But it was interesting because that happened to be I think the 27th, and apparently
Okay,
17 years ago they came out on like May 24th. So it was like within a similar
very
timing.
timely. Yeah, very
Um,
timely
I
of
I
them.
won't share my screen and show this to you because
Okay.
you'll just not be very happy. And then my brother also was like sending my my family pictures of like two cicadas like fornicating on like their cup while they were having a picnic.
Of
Um,
course.
because that's really what they
I
do.
mean, that's yeah, what they're supposed to do.
These are the
That
pictures of them like on bike tires and shiz.
that's so gross.
And just all over. Some
Your
are
brother had
anxiously
one.
waiting.
Your brother had one on his face.
Right. Like my brother had it on his finger. I think maybe it was, I don't remember what it was. It was one of his fingers and it took up like his whole finger.
Oh my god. Ew.
They're huge. 2004 was the last time they were seen in Princeton. Ew, these kids are like touching them. What is wrong with you?
I mean,
So
people
I'm just
like
looking
bugs.
to.
People like bugs.
I know people.
That's you.
It's not the liking bug situation. It's the size of the bug situation.
Right.
Did you
I
ever
can
go to the Liberty Science
totally
Center?
agree to that. When I was very young, yes.
Do you know how they have like the African
Uh, I vaguely remember like their bug
the
sections.
cockroaches? I think they're
Yes.
cockroaches.
I don't fucking remember, but
And
yes, yeah,
they
yeah.
put them in the palm of your hand and they're the size of your
Yes,
hand.
it's fucking
Um,
gross. No,
like
thank
that.
you.
No, I
And
couldn't see
people,
that either. It's a matter of like they're really big and then have these tiny little legs, like, and they're like, no.
yeah, yeah. No, thank you.
But
Also,
yeah,
don't mind me if you hear this noise. I have a Tamagotchi again, guys.
I love
I don't know
that.
if you can
I
hear
love
this.
that. I saw that you had that this morning. I was all for it.
Um, Sorry, I have to feed my Tamagotchi.
Would you
One
do you want to
second.
see a picture of one?
Just not the whole. It freaked me out when it was like
I won't show
white.
you the exoskeleton part.
Yeah,
I'll show
that
you it
part
like
freaked me the fuck
as
out.
a as a
As
like
as just
as
like a
itself.
one that's like
Apparently when they mate, they like go butt to butt. That's what this picture is. I feel I feel like all the exoskeletons are probably like somewhere sorry, all the cicadas are somewhere laughing right now, like ha 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 ha. They're talking about us.
yeah, because now we're giving them free content.
I
Here's like an
know.
hour-long video
Guys,
about.
you're welcome. Free marketing about cicadas.
Oh my god.
Here, I'll show you this one.
Are you sharing your screen or are you gonna show me?
I'll share
Oh,
my screen. I don't care.
I'm scared. Sorry, my Tamagotchi's
I'm
still
just gonna
eating.
show a portion of the screen so you can like specifically just see.
I'm literally gonna freak out right now. Oh, this is so gross.
Okay, I'm gonna stop so Maria doesn't die. Wait, I don't know how
I'm
to
dead.
stop.
I'm dead. I'm dead. Get that away from me. I'm
Huge.
gonna freak out when I
They
fucking edit this.
They have really cool wings though. Their wings look like fiberglass.
Yeah, that's fine. But their actual existence freaks me out.
Yeah, and they have big red like
I
their
hope
eyes.
my
look
family
like
upstairs can hear me scream right
just
now
like
because
freaking
this
right
is
now.
so gross. This is so fucking gross.
So
I can't.
this
I can't.
this led to an entire I was having a conversation with my co-teacher about like eating bugs and all of the places like because I said to her, she was like, would you eat one? And I was like, if I didn't, first of all, it couldn't be in its full like form. It would have to be dismantled. It'd have to be broken up and like put into a pudding or something.
Yeah, because like it's very common. Like people in the Philippines eat bugs all the time. Blah blah, whatever. Depending on and all different cultures. Yeah, I get it totally.
And that's what's
but
so
that's like
disturbing about
not
the
from like
recipe.
the ground and you just eat it. Like it's like in something.
Right. That's
Ugh.
why that recipe is so disturbing looking because they're like still in shape and they're called like nibblers. Like you eat them like a chicken nugget. Like that's not okay. So I said I would be perfectly open to eating them as long as I don't
Time out.
See it. What?
Millions of those in your brother's backyard. They're huge.
If not like more than millions, if not up to the billions.
They're huge, y'all. Like you guys have to like watch this video. Like that's fucking gross. Ew.
And this is why I think we should talk about them. So they're still not even fully like this is a thing. This is a thing. They're still not even fully like emerged in the places where they're going to be emerging in New Jersey.
Right, because they're still coming out. Yeah.
Because I said to my client, I was like, this was not a thing when I came to you last week. And she was like, no, it was pretty much the weekend after I saw you. And now they've been out for about a week. And I flat out told her, I was like, well, I'm not coming back until it's over.
Because we can't do this anymore.
The worst part was I'm talking to some of my kids in school and some of my kids are my clients. And I'm talking about how, I haven't really seen them anywhere else. And some of them are just randomly going, oh, I've seen them like flying around. Like they haven't seen them the way that they were in Princeton, but she's like, oh, they were like, oh, I've seen them flying around. I was like, I'm not coming to your house. I'm not coming to your house.
Because then you know that they're gonna all emerge because it can't just be one, right? Like aren't they in packs? Like they're in groups.
Yeah.
Millions. Like
and the worst part of all of it was when I got back in my car and I drove home, I was like, there's one on me. Like I'm gonna bring one into my house. There's gonna be, like,
and your cat's gonna eat it and you're fucked.
I feel like honestly though, like in terms of the size of my cat, like they're gonna put up a good fight. Like they're big.
Yeah, they're huge. Yeah. Oh my god.
But that's So I had nightmares about that night, like being carried away by all of them. And that's the sad thing is they don't give a flying fart about us.
No, they couldn't care less because they don't. I mean, are they alive underground? I'm so fucking.
This is what I was looking up. I don't know. And this is a question that I posed. Was how do cicadas survive underground? I'm gonna look it up right now.
Because obviously things live underground like worms and shit, and bugs. I guess.
And then like why come up?
But
to me?
Why 17 years too? Like how do they know this?
Okay, so.
Which really actually. I just thought of something. I think it was obviously I get every. Ew! I don't want to fucking know.
I'm so
Brittany's
sad that I
gagging right now.
just looked that up. So this says.
She's literally gagging, y'all.
I'm never gonna be able to unsee those pictures. Okay. Cicadas are active underground, tuttling and feeding, and not sleeping or hibernating as commonly thought. After 2 to 17 years, cicadas emerge from the ground as nymphs. Nymphs climb the nearest available vertical surface, usually a plant, and begin to shed their exoskeletons.
That's so gross.
You don't want to know what they look like when they're little.
I really don't want to know. I don't want to know. I will fucking leave this podcast. This will be my last episode if you show me what the hell that looks like.
I want to see why they have to mate above ground.
Why? Yeah. Why did they have to come up anyway?
Underground
Why?
cicadas hide from predators as they remain until the soil temperature, we know it has to get hot enough, tells them it's time to come out. They emerge wearing their protective outer shell and then they shed it
Oh, so gross.
once they're hiding again inside of foliage and nearby trees. That says nothing about why they come out every.
Yeah. How come it's like very timely?
Yeah, it's like they have a very specific cycle. I'm very
But
scared about
also,
what photos are going to come up now.
yeah, that's why I hid behind my microphone before you showed me that picture. um, what the hell was I gonna say? I get obviously all my I don't know, knowledge from TikTok these days. Um, there was apparently like it was a long time ago some like experiment on I don't know what animal, but um I think they were proving that animals had like they knew what time it was, like they know what time 2 o'clock is, like or whatever. So they took these animals um in different time zones, and they also have like jet lag and shit. I just thought it was really cool. But the fact that these like cicadas come out very timely in 17 years,
Hmm.
they know what a year is, like like they know how
I
long
feel like they
they've
can
been down
feel
there.
it. They feel it in the temperature, right? Because that's what tells them that they have to come up. I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
even to the week though,
Yeah, I don't
like
know. That's crazy. Right, like
it's
I said, there were
crazy.
17. I don't know. But apparently they eat off of like they eat tree sap underground.
Oh, I see. So that's their sustenance, is tree sap.
Oh my god! All right, and here's our 17 facts, guys. There are 3,400 species of cicadas.
That's gross. That's gross. That's so fucking gross. Are they the biggest?
The ones that the brood X ones, yeah.
Of course.
Um, this says not everyone is a fan. No
No
shit.
shit. This podcast not approved.
Um, see, look, okay, this is fact number 4. Watch out for cicada rain. Like, I don't know what that word says.
Sure.
Tree bugs in the insect order, cicadas cannot eat solids or bite people. They don't have chewing mouth parts. Instead, they live off a totally liquid diet from trees. Uh,
Ew, I don't
this
want to
next
know.
part is not what I thought. Ew!
I hate this. I
I'm not
fucking
tell-
hate this.
I'm not telling you what that
No, thank
says.
you.
Ew! Don't walk under any trees for the next 5 weeks, guys. In a couple of weeks, it'll all be over, but don't.
Yeah, how long is this plague?
6 weeks.
6 weeks, and it started this week. Okay, so like July will be done.
Yeah. I mean, apparently they have like they say a really big thing about like the
Man, and I live next to a
like
park.
earth and everything.
Like, I live right next to a park with like a bunch of trees. Oh my god, like I'm gonna fucking vomit.
Yeah, the ones that are the Brudax are the largest. They can grow to be anything except like 2 inches, and their bodies alone can be 2 inches in length.
And their wings, y'all, are fucking huge.
No.
They're massive.
Oh, okay, interesting. The males climb the trees.
And the females
Females
are
can
just
eat cicadas do not sing, but they flick their wings to make a small sound to call their mate.
so it's the
But
men.
apparently they're like very easily confused, which is
Who?
why they fly. The cicadas, they fly all
Oh,
over the place. Apparently they taste like asparagus.
okay.
See, okay, look, okay. So apparently this fungus. Here's some information about this. Apparently this fungus is considered an STD to them.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that
Okay,
how?
okay. Ready?
Oh
So
god.
then the start of this from this person who studied them says, "I'm just going to tell you this straight." um,
Imagine studying those things. Oh my god.
so it only affects the males. It
Okay.
causes the bug's abdomen and genitals to fall off, leaving just a mass of fungal matter. It also makes them extremely sex driven, not to mate, but to spread the fungus because
Ew.
he's a host.
Yeah, yeah.
As well as singing, the infected male will start clicking his wings like a female to attract more partners. Fewer than 5% of cicadas are reportedly infected, but it's not uncommon for people to eat them
Ew.
for the fungus, which is not a good idea, according to scientists.
Ew.
Apparently, they're really good for the earth, though.
They're probably like just, natural fertilizer at
Apparently, the
this
brood
point.
that just emerged is in massive danger.
Of
Um,
what? Danger of what?
of going extinct.
You know, look, that's fine.
The one that's Brood 11 went extinct in 1954.
Again, that's fine. Do they serve any other purpose for the
Okay.
earth
Well, no. It
besides
says
like being a natural fertilizer when they die?
so. Yeah, they literally have sex. The male dies literally right after they have sex. The female lays 500 eggs in a tree branch
That's
and
one way to
also
go.
dies. The ant life, the ant-like nymph hatch 6 to 10 weeks later, drop to the ground. Ew. So that's gonna be the worst. Ugh, they're gonna be just falling out. And burrow as fast as they can to evade predators. They'll settle about 8 to 12 inches beneath the surface, feeding on the tree root. And that's where they will be for the next 17 years. Every stage of the cicada life has benefits for regional ecology, from turning over the soil, providing natural pruning for trees, boosting predator populations, and returning nutrients to the soil through their rotting
Right, they're just a
remains.
natural fertilizer for the earth.
That's literally
Otherwise,
all they are.
I mean, I guess like there, yes, every animal has its purpose on this world, but like, bro,
These
we
just
don't
happen to
need,
have a very gross,
we don't
very outright
need,
gross.
we don't need these exoskeletons just chilling on the ground for 6 weeks. We don't need this. But whatever.
I don't know why I decided
I
to talk
can't.
about this. I'm so physically uncomfortable
That's so
right now.
gross. I
The
can't.
the
But
pictures
like,
that I saw are gonna haunt me for the rest of my life.
yeah, that's
Every
gross.
17
The
years, I'm
the
gonna have
exoskeleton
PTSD from
one,
this.
the exoskeleton one really freaked me out, and also I'm gonna be so scared. I'm gonna you when you come over later. I am literally editing this podcast with you next to me because I cannot physically do this by myself.
guys, guys. So this
Guys,
is
I
what's
can't do
going on
this.
in the world. I actually had a couple other things I wanted to talk to you today about, but we can talk about them on another episode.
Well, okay, or you can talk about it later.
Or that. But no, I feel like it'd be good stuff for like an episode too. So
Okay,
I'll keep them as a side note. So guys, another side note. We have so many. Hopefully all of you are following. Are we Be More Podcast on social
here
media?
we go. Be more underscore podcast, I
Cool.
believe.
Um,
It's
hopefully
in
you
the description.
great. You guys are following us. There's a lot of quotes coming out because Brittany's been doing her job and been listening to episodes. I was telling Maria beforehand I can't get in the. I honestly do it during my walks. I do it all the time now. I'm just listening to us. Um, we've had some really good episodes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can't complain. We've
Uh,
said random shit on every
yeah,
episode.
I think I'm like halfway into the like 20 something episodes in,
Hmm.
and I started only last week, so that's pretty good
Yeah,
considering
they're
that
like
they're
an
pretty
hour
lengthy.
long each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been writing down a lot of the crazy and sometimes
Some are insightful.
yeah, sometimes insightful things that we say.
Sometimes.
And been sharing them and making them as little quote posts on Insta. So go check them out, and if you want to do us a real solid, share them so other people can be a part of our community.
Follow, comment, like, subscribe.
Yeah, and tell
All
us
that
your
shit.
thoughts. Tell us your thoughts on the things that we share because we want to hear your opinions and your insights too.
Hmm.
But it's been fun. We got a lot more stuff coming. It was funny because you want to know what was really weird talk about throwing back. It was really interesting as we're coming. Oh, and I want to ask you this question too. As we're coming into the dawning of post-COVID life, it was
Hmm.
really interesting to listen back to all of our stuff as we were going through that.
Yeah, because I think our first COVID episode was actually with people, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it was funny up until the weeks like leading to when the shutdown happened. We were kind of there was an episode a couple of weeks prior where we were like, "Oh, did you hear about this COVID thing?"
It's
And
so funny
it
how
was so
hindsight.
casual,
Yeah.
and we were like, "No, it's like not a big deal." And then we are talking about COVID conspiracies and all this. It was very interesting. I feel like just for us to have that,
I love the COVID conspiracy one though. I love that
this
episode.
is such a time capsule for us.
Oh yeah, we'll listen to this like later on in life and be like, oh, the fucking pandemic really got to
Right.
us.
And
A
just like
hundred
other
percent.
things, it's so interesting. I've really been enjoying listening to it and going back and be like,
Yeah.
wow, this is what life was like.
Yeah, it's funny because I also do this. So usually because I only listen to podcasts when I'm working, so I usually catch up on podcasts real quick, because I work long hours. And it's funny because I'm catching up on one podcast. It's like a crime and paranormal podcast, and it got to the point where COVID started happening, and it was the same thing. It was like, oh, did you read COVID? Like, oh, we're in lockdown for 2 weeks. That's gonna suck. All this stuff until like a year later, they're like, we're still in
It's funny
quarantine.
because we did that too. We would say how like, oh, in a couple weeks from now, and we're gonna get like,
It's so funny.
it's
It's
that
everyone
hindsight is so funny.
everyone didn't know what was gonna happen, right? Like,
I
and
know.
also like,
Yeah.
the world and this country and how we took it, like it was just not.
And it's crazy because so much happened. We talked a lot
Mhm.
about Black Lives Matter, and then when I get to
Oh, a
like
ton,
towards
yeah.
closer, we're gonna be talking about all the Asian hate and all of
Mm-hmm.
that stuff. But
No, the history within the last year
yeah,
or
it has been
so.
so I think it's gonna be a good record
Yeah.
for us to just go
Yeah,
back
just
and be
go
like,
back and
and for other
100%.
people to just go back and be like, what was that like? That
Yeah.
time like
And there's
really
so much
interesting.
there's so many like podcasts and just like news in general that people can just like look up
Yeah, but
for
at
sure.
least it'll be really. I think it'll be cool for people to get regular
Hmm.
people's firsthand experience.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So,
Versus like all the skewed information from all the media. But this is my question for you. So
hmm
I got notified. How did you hear about everything getting lifted technically on Friday the 28th?
I I don't pay attention to news, so like I don't like I didn't even know till now. Thank you.
Okay, well, okay, so that's literally what I would have said. So, um,
Look, I'm operating as if I'm still in the pandemic because I am. Like I
right.
don't know with other people,
So
but I will say, all right, one sorry.
you're good.
I went to the dollar store this morning to pick up stuff for my dad's party today, and they had a sign on the front saying, as part of CDC regulation, like if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. I'm like, this is bullshit. I am wearing my mask. I am vaccinated because, like, are you gonna police that? That's my whole concern.
I have so many. Yes, I have so many things.
This could
But
be
let
a whole
me.
episode.
I
We
know
should
we might.
probably save this.
This might be a separate episode. So this will be
Yeah,
another episode that we have because I have lots of questions and we'll add this
yeah,
in.
yeah.
But okay, so I'm wrapping this up. My parents also gave me a really good for dealing with the cicadas to like go out with an umbrella and
Okay,
just
okay.
so they don't fall on you. So I'm gonna be doing that, guys. I'm gonna be walking around with an umbrella.
And look, that's not uncommon. Again, like I wouldn't be. People are gonna be like
You
judging
know
you,
what just came
a
to
hundred
my
percent.
mind, and
What?
I'm dead. We're gonna make this is gonna be a thing that we're when we start having like merch. We're gonna have. Are you ready? And this, I see it in my brain so beautifully. It's gonna be a white umbrella with a black rim around the
Yeah,
outside,
yeah.
and it's gonna say like "Be More" podcast on like one of the parts of the umbrella,
Sure,
and
yeah.
then there's gonna be literally cicada
That's
images
so gross.
all
That's
over it.
so gross.
That's
I
what we're
will.
doing.
I'm not
If
even gonna
you
promote
would
that.
like to pre-order
I'm
cicada
not even
umbrella,
promoting that.
oh my god,
You
we're
can
doing
promote
that.
that yourself.
No, well, no, wait, no, not to make it super gross. It'll just be like white, and then just be like one.
Yeah, just like a random spot.
Just one cicada. So
That's
then it
so
makes people
gross.
be like, "What is that?" And be like, "Oh, do you remember
Don't
when
worry about
cicadas
it.
were falling?" JK.
Or no, just be like, don't
Anyway,
worry about it.
anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to us talk about one of
Jesus.
the most unsettling topics we've discussed so far.
Yeah, no, thank
Um,
you.
aside from all the terrible stuff we've been talking about in our social setting, which is even more unsettling. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
just to put that in there too as a little plug. Um,
Yep.
but be careful out there. They're not going to hurt you, but
They're
they're
just gross.
terrifying. Yep.
They're just gross.
So, if you have more information you want to share on cicadas, don't tell us about it.
You go straight to Brittany. I don't want to. I don't want to see that shit. I don't want to. I don't want
Oh
anyone
my
talking
gosh.
about it. Thank
And we
you.
have some awesome episodes coming up. So stay tuned in. We love having you here. I hope that you guys are staying dry. And we have some special stuff coming up in the future because Maria and I are going to definitely shoot a fun episode later. So
All right.
thanks you
Wait.
guys for listening. We'll talk to you on the next episode.
All right. Okay. Bye.